So with everyone having a meltdown over TikTok and the president, I thought I'd give you guys another illegal movie review. And coincidentally, the last time I did one of these was also for a SpongeBob movie that had leaked early. Back on Friday, I saw this tweet saying Plankton the movie releases on Netflix March 7th, and then someone replied to that with actually, it releases now. And they attached the entire movie with production info still on the screen, meaning that this was supposed to stay with whoever happened to leak this, because I doubt a person with autism and ADHD that likes Baldi's Basics and other stuff was the mastermind behind this leak. But nonetheless, it happened, and I was able to download the entire movie before it got taken down. Side note, I don't know how someone can upload this, have it get millions of views, and Netflix not do anything about it. I can guarantee you that you sue one person as an example for others, and movie leaks would be done with, or at least not be posted for millions of people to see before the movie comes out. And because of that, for today's video, I will not be reviewing the SpongeBob movie and instead this alien knockoff. And before any of you can report me for clickbaiting, all in all, I think the movie was kind of good. So there, I reviewed the movie like I said I would in the title. Actually, I didn't even say I was going to do it in the title. I just told you it leaked. You played yourself. It also says in the description that this is not the movie review you think it is. So click off, stay, whatever you want to do. Just know that a movie review is happening. But as I was looking for movies to watch, I come across this one called Alien Rubicon. Yes, Rubicon. And with a title like that, you're probably thinking they just released Romulus. When did they have time to make Rubicon? But just like this comment that was left on their trailer video from YouTube says, I just got bamboozled into buying this movie thinking it was the actual Alien franchise movie that was released earlier this year with a similar title. Worst $5 I've ever spent. And I'm not gonna lie, I had thought the same thing until I saw some of the CGI they use. I didn't pay $5, but I would be just as mad. But nonetheless, let me show you just how much of a stain this movie is leaving on the Alien legacy, without even being associated with it. Now first off, this movie was produced by the Asylum, whose most popular movies are, believe it or not, the Sharknado movies. Other than that though, the movies they make are basically knockoffs of popular movies with the title slightly changed to avoid any potential lawsuit. It's like the Scary Movie franchise, only these guys are completely serious and do not want to be taken as a joke. Like, here are some of the movies they made that are not parodies, mind you. We got Legion of the Dead, Kong of the Lost World, that's 2 in 1, Hillside Cannibals, and they actually have the audacity to say that this is the story that inspired the movie that inspired them. The Da Vinci Treasure, Pirates of Treasure Island, Snakes on a Train, Transmorphers, Alien vs. Hunter, Street Racer, Alan Quarterman, and the Temple of Skulls. How the fuck is Alan Quarterman a play on Indiana Jones? Alan Quarterman sounds like a Jewish banker, not a fucking temple raider. And again, they have based on the story that inspired Indiana Jones. But you see what I mean? They find a popular movie, change the title around a bit, and then proceed to make a movie that looks like a rough draft of the movie they were trying to copy. And this Alien one is no different. So we begin with this family, Jeff, Leanna, and Adam, driving to this campsite for a little family get-together. But you know, teenagers always gotta bitch about something.
It's Saturday. Uncle Rob and his minion offspring will beat us there and we'll get the worst camping spot again.
Well, then maybe your mom should have fucked Uncle Rob instead so you could have been his kids. I bet Uncle Ron's minions don't jump in the backseat with their sister so they can take a piss.
Wait, I'm gonna go with you. What? I have to pee!
Now, I have 2 older brothers, and I have never thought once to be like, hey bro, I gotta take a piss, so you might want to scoot over. I gotta whip my dick out, but I wanted to get as close to you as possible before I do it, you know what I mean? But before they make it to the campsite, they stop by their dad's office, which just so happens to be on the way to where they're going, in the middle of the fucking mountains, mind you. But they get there, and he's like, I gotta look for these files. And as he's doing that, his son Adam notices something pop up on his dad's computer, and they start telling us information that's crucial to the movie storyline, but they decide to throw it in as we're getting settled into the movie. Like, imagine you're watching a movie like The Social Network and they start the movie off where Andrew Garfield gets mad at Justin Timberlake. Like, just listen to how much information they give us out of nowhere without establishing that this movie is even an alien movie first.
Dad, look at this.
Probably just something on the lens.
No, it's advancing with each image. Come on, here, take a look. Do you think this has anything to do with the fast burst anomaly signal that you picked up last year? I mean, it's coming from the same direction.
The Rubicon signal?
Yeah.
I don't know what we're looking at. Hey, it's probably just private sector. Maybe even military. You know, we're not always made privy to their builds. especially the international ones. We're usually made aware of a launch date.
This is Dr. Morrow at the Maryland Observatory. We have a UAP sighting, possibly military or maybe private.
Now what's funny is that they have 6 screens connected to each other, but they decided that this is what we're gonna focus on. This dude has the technology to find out where the fuck Tupac is hiding, but they're like, Apple said they give us a free monitor if we showed it in the movie. We then get sent to the NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory in California to see this lady take a phone call asking for the president, which then puts us at the White House. For some reason. I don't even know if this lady was supposed to be working for the White House or NASA. But the president right here is like, are you sure this isn't Chinese or whatever? And his assistant is like, no, I already asked them.
You sure it's not just a failed satellite that's fallen out of orbit?
No, sir. It appears to be a nearly perfect sphere. No known configuration matches this. Russia and China deny involvement. They're watching it too.
You know, Ash, I want a lot of eyeballs on this. President McCoy saves the world.
Copy, sir.
I like how they got the Thomas Jefferson portrait in this shot, even though he has nothing to do with this movie. They're like, you see these? This is clearly the White House and not a hallway in the warehouse we rented. But you heard them. A sphere like none other is heading right for the East Coast with a random title card that still doesn't answer this or this. Because if you look up what Rubicon means, it's an act of winning a game against an opponent whose total score is less than 100, in which case the loser score is added to rather than subtracted from the winners. Whatever the fuck that means, translates to what this movie is about somehow. But as they're leaving the dad's office, their car won't start. Simple enough, but just listen to the dialogue they add.
Damn it.
Shouldn't have gotten rid of the 250.
No way, EV all the way. You made the right choice, Dad.
Not even that, but the car not starting was just a time waster because they eventually get it to start and it's like, what the fuck was that? They just made it seem like they were gonna have to find another way off this mountain, but they're like, oh no, my bad, I just wasn't holding the brake. I pushed to start. You know, you gotta press the brake and then, my bad, kids. We're safe.
Told you. All right. Seatbelts.
We then go back to the White House to see the president get told that this alien ship is an anomaly, not because it's a fucking alien ship, but because it's a perfect sphere, which only happens in geodes, and those would shatter like glass on impact.
There's no detectable activity in the UAP since its arrival. It's an anomaly.
Why is it an anomaly?
Mr. President, it's a perfect sphere. That's not natural except in geodes, and those would shatter like glass on impact.
Okay, and? Is the sphere a giant geode? I don't see how knowing about geodes qualifies her for this job. There are stores that specialize in selling geodes, and the people who work there look like they're more qualified to get me DMT than they would be working for NASA. This B-word even has her doubts about Dr. Jeff when the president starts asking about him.
Doctor, the scientist who originally spotted the anomaly, do you have any background on him?
Yes, sir. Dr. Jeff Morrow, widower, 2 kids. He is an astrophysicist with a PhD from Caltech. You met him last year.
Yes, and you dismissed his theory then.
He thought it was an attempt at communication.
Or a precursor of a giant metal ball falling from the sky.
This is just like when the government was warned about Osama bin Laden just 36 days before 9/11. Whoever this girl was in that situation doubted that warning, and now going through TSA has got to be the most annoying thing in the world. Thanks, Obama.
Sir, we must consider the potential dangers here. Now, I recommend full mobilization.
Ash, I understand your concern, but we need more answers before we start pointing guns at it.
No answer. I told him it was urgent and to call me back.
No, she didn't. You can clearly see her talking to someone. And if there's one thing knockoff movies like this do horribly, it's phone conversation. She dials the number, and as soon as she presses the last number, she starts talking. When does a phone work like that? I know it's nitpicking, but come on. They have a fucking sign up that says the White House in the White House. It's not like they're gonna forget where they are. He's the president. Back in Maryland, though, apparently on Jeff's farm now, as they're getting ready to leave, a helicopter pulls up, and this dude is like, I was cast to look like an army guy, sir. And Jeff is like,
Hey, go back to the car.
and then he's like, I was cast to fly this helicopter, sir. And Jeff is like,
I'm sorry, Captain, I can't. I'm on vacation with my kids.
and then this guy is like, and then Jeff is like,
What do you need from me?
but not before he gives a very odd request that is merely an excuse for these two to stay in the movie.
I'll go. But under one condition.
Go where?
You leave a frequency modulation radio with my kids. That way I can stay in constant communication with them, especially if another satellite goes down.
Skipping forward through some absolute nonsense of some filler scenes, they finally make it to the sphere, and it's just as advertised. A giant ball that destroys anything that comes near it. Alright, buddy, calm down. The explosion wasn't that big. Imagine how these guys are at a fireworks show. They probably go fucking blind. But after trying to destroy this sphere a few more times, the sphere itself decides that this is too much of an inconvenience for it and starts moving through the city like nothing. And it's like, I'm sure all these people dying are very thankful that the government pissed off an alien ship that nonetheless would probably have stayed over the river. Thanks, Obama. They then find out that the sphere is heading directly towards Washington, D.C., and then it's like, why not just land in D.C.? Why did you have to land in New York and then make your way slowly to your destination? But whatever, they also find out that the sphere might be in the direct path of Jeff's house, and it's like, dog, there are just so many things that they're trying to connect that don't even make any sense. But regardless, this guy is like, I was cast to fly this helicopter, sir! And Jeff is like,
Thank you, Captain Chappie.
So, Sean.
Thank you, Sean.
The movie then moves away from the family, and all the attention gets directed towards the infamous sphere, which has finally made it to our nation's capital, and as expected, it just starts causing more damage, eventually beaming a signal all the way to these other ships just outside Jupiter. While that's happening, they apparently rigged some fucking satellite laser the government's been working on to try and take these things out, but as soon as they use it, the ship lands and actual alien dogs start coming out and attacking everything. They don't even answer how the dogs became that smart enough to build a sphere and have multiple of them outside Jupiter just waiting to attack Earth. They're dogs. Like, they don't start talking like the aliens in Halo. They're literal alien dogs flying that ship, hundreds of them. But as that's happening, more ships start coming and the satellite laser is still going off destroying them, even though everyone has evacuated the control room. And then somehow, the next day, everything is okay. People are rebuilding, and Dr. Jeff comes out of this with only a couple of scratches. By far, one of the worst movies I've ever seen. The story is sloppy, the acting is subpar, and the CGI, I guess, you know what, it's pretty decent. But you guys want to know why the movie was called Alien Rubicon? It's because that's what Dr. Jeff called the anomaly when he first saw it, but they only mentioned that once throughout the entire thing.
He discovered that fast radio anomaly, the one that he nicknamed the Rubicon signal.
What's actually hilarious is that if you go to this movie's IMDb page, one of the directors has this video as the one that showcases his work.
Deep in the forest, in an underground cave, is the world of trolls.
It is time once again for the final hijinks of the year's Prankapalooza.
Who all misbehave.
Ow! A prank a day keeps boredom away.
Whoa! Now you might be like, what the hell is this? But he's actually won a Primetime Emmy for his work on Children of Dune, as well as worked on movies like Star Trek, Tron, Spaceballs, The X-Files, Robot Chicken, Sherlock Holmes, Jackass 3D, and then after that he started working on the Sharknado movies and all these knockoffs. But hey, just from those movies I named alone, dude has my respect. Not that he needed it, but it sucks that he was a part of this movie. But yeah guys, if you stuck around to the end, congratulations, you made it through another illegal movie review. Will I upload a video tomorrow? You're damn right I will. See you guys tomorrow. Peace.